What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today I just wanted to talk about the cards that I believe are coming out in the Shining Fates set in February that will potentially be standard format, competitive, meta relevant. This is mostly a collector set. There are a fair bit of newer cards believed to be coming out in the set. But really this isn't competitive players or something that every deck builder, every person that wants to have meta decks, you're not really going to need a ton from this set. So keep that in mind. Our core set is coming out in Battle Styles in March. So yeah, we'll be talking about Shining Fates today. Shout out to justinbasil.com. That's where I'm getting this kind of theorized set list from Shining Fates from. And shout out to PotownStore.com, the best place to get PTCGO codes when Shining Fates, Battle Styles, any new products are coming out. You're going to want to go over to PotownStore.com for the best stock and price and use code Celio for 5% off. So there are two cards that I think are going to matter for the game immediately. There are a lot of new cards that are potentially coming out here. We got some amazing rares. We got the new Celebi and Manaphy, which I've gone over on this channel. They have some cool utility abilities, some consistency abilities, but really there are just two cards that are going to matter for competitive standard format when the set comes out, in my opinion. And we're going to look at three cards here. Two of them are actually good. One is absolute garbage, so we'll get to that. And I just want to kind of debunk people actually thinking one of those cards are good. So Rusted Sword. Rusted Sword's going to be the big one. This link takes us over to Cerebi.net. So Rusted Sword is a tool card. As you can see from the picture, it is for Zacian. You could attach to Zacian, and the Zacian V this card is attached to does 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So this allows Brave Blade to do 260 without Altered Creation, or 290 with Altered Creation. So this is big. I actually think this gives straight Zacian, or straight Zacian Zamazenta, a chance to be just as good or better than ADPZ. That being because in the mirror match, hypothetically, you would be able to just knock out your opponent's ADP right after Alter Creation with like Headbutt Tantrum, Scoop Up Net, Headbutt Tantrum, then Brave Blade with a Rusted Sword on it for 280. That's kind of what I'm hypothesizing here. And then maybe you even run like the Bayonet for VMAX decks that devolve them, or you just run Zamazenta for the VMAX decks. And against some decks you'll just Gust Knockout, Gust Knockout, Gust Knockout like you would with an ADP deck, except you don't have to set up ADP. And then you kind of lose that that predictability of decks that are kind of trying to counter ADP, whether it be with hammers or Reshizard or whatever it could be. Also should be noted that with Brave Blade plus Rusted Sword plus Alter Creation plus something like Leon, the supporter card from Vivid Voltage, you can actually hit 320 damage with a Zacian's Brave Blade, which is pretty nutty. So I do think Rusted Sword is a meta relevant card. Rusted Shield, however, is probably not. So Rusted Shield is Zamazenta's tool that it's getting. The Zamazenta this card's attached to gets plus 70 HP. So I feel like this is not as good because you'd rather have compounded damage decreasing with Metal Goggles on your Zacian or on your Zamazenta, especially since it can be attached to Zamazenta or Zacian or Luke Metal or Aegislash even, and this can only be used for Zamazenta. Now what I mean by compounded damage reduction, your Zamazentas aren't getting hit by VMAX Pokemon, so you don't need to worry about the extra HP, right? The Zamazenta will usually be out there when you're playing against a VMAX deck, and then they're using tech attackers. So, you know, they're using like Sable IV, or they're using Crobat V, or Yveltal or Spiritomb against Eternatus, which is a good example, or against Colossal, maybe they're trying Galarian Sirfetch'd, or against Inteleon, they're using like a Suicune or a Baby Lapras or something. it's better to have metal goggles and be chipping down that damage by -30 every time, because then if they attack into you 3 times, you're reducing 90 damage, whereas if you have this card, you're always just increasing your HP by 70. So if like they hit into you twice in a new Metal Lana and they hit into you 2 more times, metal goggles reduce 120 damage, whereas again this just has a flat 70. So I think this card is super bad, and you probably never want to use it in the current standard format. So just wanted to touch on that a little bit. And the third card is Koffing. Maybe you didn't expect that, but Koffing, I should note that we already have the Galarian Wheezing, and there is no Galarian Koffing. I was yesterday days old when I found out that regular Koffing goes into Galarian Wheezing. I should pay more attention to the video games. I was like, wait a second, this is just regular Koffing, but we're good. Regular Koffing goes into Galarian Wheezing. So Galarian Wheezing, when it's active, your opponent's Pokemon have no abilities. This is something that would be insane if we could just, like, you know, have it on like a Wobbuffet or the new Empoleon, just shut off everything. But we can get it on turn 1 going second because of the new Koffing with Ascension. Search your deck for a card that evolves from this Pokemon and put it onto the Pokemon. And that's your turn. You attack with that as your turn. Now this could go in either Eternatus decks, which I've seen lists from Japan using this in Eternatus decks, but it could also go in its own kind of disruption decks. If you remember back when Galarian Wheezing first came out, I was trying out Galarian Wheezing like toolbox decks, like Galarian Wheezing plus Spirit Tomb or Ultra Beasts or Toxicroak or whatever it was, and then Hammers and Marnies and Yell Grunts and stuff. So there could be a possibility of a Galarian Wheezing archetype where you just want to go second, start with Ascension. So like go second, Crushing Hammer your opponent's energy attachment from turn 1, play Marnie, start setting up some powerful Pokemon on the bench while you just go Ascension and lock their abilities. So they can't Dedenne, Crobat, Eldegoss, Intrepid Sword, they can't Stellar Wish, they can't do anything as long as this Galarian Wheezing stays active. And this might only be good for a very short period of time because Escape Rope is being reprinted in Battle Styles. So not only will they be able to move that Wheezing with Boss, they will also be able to move it by just playing Escape Rope once Battle Styles is legal. So this might only be good for a short period of time when Shining Fates is the newest set. Do note, if you're playing in Players Cup 3, Shining Fates will not be legal for any of the like the grinding phase, the qualifying with 50 keys phase. Shining Fates will not be legal for any of that, so keep that in mind. I think Shining Fates is going to be legal for the top 256, the regional level qualifiers, but there's no confirmation on that, but I think that this information will be relevant for the regional qualifier level of the Players Cup 3, if that is pertinent information for you. So yeah, those are the 2 cards that I think are good for current standard format that are coming out, plus the third one being Rusted Shield that is not, and I wanted to make sure y'all know that card's probably terrible. Manaphy, Celebi, I've covered them before, they're decent. Venusaur VMAX and Blastoise VMAX, I don't even know if we're getting them in this set, what's happening with those, if they're coming out in tins or in Battle Styles or what. We'll have to find out what's happening with those cards. But yeah, and then there's a whole bunch of shiny stuff, so this is going to be an amazing set to crack open, collect, buy, sell, invest, get graded, those kinds of things. But as far as competitive content goes, this is not like a player's set, and those are the 2 cards that I'm looking at to actually be relevant. So I'm all down for Galarian Wheezing getting some more potential, so happy about that. Rusted Sword, not too sure, but I'm honestly kind of excited to make straight Zacian work over ADP Zacian, so that'll be a fun little adventure to have. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for more daily Pokemon TCG content. Leave a like and a comment if you enjoyed it, and check out PotownStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes. Use code CELIO for 5% off. Have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.